On the continent of Khorvaire, a chance encounter brought 4 intrepid travelers together on the road to adventure. Though they began as strangers, they soon became known as the Hero Squad.
So before we jump back into it, let's do like a quick kind of recap
Yes,
of where everybody is.
Yes, please.
So when we last left off, the party was in Droam. They'd been there for a little while, and they participated in a large wrestling event, ultimately allowing them to get an audience with Sora Ketra, who is sort of the de facto leader of Droam. And in doing so, they got some helpful information to essentially point them to where they need to go next, which they have been on this quest for a very long time to try and travel into the Celestial Realm. And finally, it seems that the gateway is within their grasp. The entirety of the party can fly, finally. It's been a while, building towards it the entire season. Some of y'all don't even know that like so many of these people had wings from the beginning. But now you know. And they've been doing some flight training, trying to get ready for what is coming. So we're sort of picking up at the tail end of that training and preparing and about ready to go travel into the unknown. So we will begin with Ash, Atlas, doing some flight training.
Okay.
So you find yourself in the midst of it. It's already happening. Stuff is flying at you. All right, you got a couple of sandbags. They're falling down from above. You see them coming towards you. The walls.
Oh God.
They're kind of about to clamp on you. Let's go ahead and give me like a dex roll on
Got
that
it.
real quick.
Got it. Whew. I think my dex is -1, right? Yep, that's gonna be 10 total.
Okay. So yeah, you dodge
bird.
away. You dodge away right before these two platforms kind of smash together, but you pop up above those. But as you do, one of the sandbags kind of hits you right across the face, and you start falling down and kind of smashing through a bunch of stuff on your way down. And every time you try and right yourself, another thing just smacks right into you, and you fall all the way to the bottom of that training tower. Yeah, and right as you hit the bottom of that tower, you actually shatter through the ground, and it cracks like glass.
Oh.
Whoa.
And as you're falling, you look up and you see just kind of a pinpoint of light above you as the light starts to drift away, and you fall into this darkened cavern.
This doesn't seem right.
You hit the ground with a thud, such that you know how normally like you would think like, oh, something will hit and it'll bounce, but you're more just like wham right into it, stop dead, just real hard.
Oh.
And as you're in pain, you sort of roll over and you see the light from above you kind of catching on your mirror, on your shield, the mirror shield, and reflecting off onto the wall nearby. And as you do, you see the vagueness of kind of the sparkles on the wall sort of coalesce together into the form of a bear. And as they do, it sort of lunges outward and into you. And when that happens, you hear a voice just say, "Find me." And then you wake up. Starting where we often have started in the past.
With Ash screaming.
Has a screaming nightmare.
Can I also? Do you think that Brittany was also in the dream, just in like a lounging chair?
You have never been in one of my dreams, Brittany.
So, like watching this whole thing go down and like making tips be like, no, you have to catch the wind at 7 degrees left.
I want Anna to roll the charisma. And Atlas to roll a Constitution save.
Okay.
That is a 21 total on my
Seven.
Constitution.
17. I
Okay.
was so close.
All right, so what happened in
Ironclad
your dream-
up here, all right?
What happened in your dream was Brittany was insulting you, but then you threw back some kind of fire insult, if you would like to come up with one in a second, go for it. And that distracted her, and then she got hit by something that was falling. So for a moment in your dream, you did have a little chuckle before falling through into the ground.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, well, your face smells, and then bam. And then in my chuckle, that's maybe what caused me to get hit as well.
The insult didn't have to actually hurt Brittany's real feelings, just the fake Brittany in Atlas's mind.
Totally. Because I don't know how to insult Brittany IRL.
No, real Brittany, it would not work. You were not prepared. So yeah, you awaken, you find yourself in the little house that y'all have been staying in. It's been a few more weeks of the training. You know that Marakai and everyone should be arriving soon. And everybody has just been sort of somberly preparing because it's another one of those moments where you don't really know what you're setting yourself up for.
Okay. So,
now, everybody else, what have y'all been doing in the interim before we kind of get you guys all together? Has there been anything that y'all have been kind of tasking yourself with over these 2 weeks?
Brittany
Yes,
has.
Anna? Brittany,
Yeah.
what's up?
Brittany has been scrying every night to try and get more information as I drop things.
Okay.
Sorry, speaking
Yep.
of dropping, sorry.
For Bragan and preparing for revenge, but also because when she gets like this, she gets really distant. So she hasn't really been chatting with the group as much. She's more distant than normal, and has been really focused on once again in her study or her taco hut and just trying to learn and do as much stuff as possible and get ready for what's about to happen.
Okay, so when you're scrying, what would that kind of look like, and what are you hoping to get? What kind of information are you hoping to get?
Well, it's basically just finding out, Brittany's finding out sort of if Bragan, she does it at the same time, every night. So to see if Bragan has any habits before, bed essentially, or what does Bragan do at this specific time so that I could potentially have an advantage at this time when we are going to be entering this place.
Okay. Yeah, I think that let's do a roll on that.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be wisdom or
So
knowledge?
the target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know the target and the sort of physical connection you have to it. If the target knows you're casting the spell, it can fail the saving throw voluntarily, which it doesn't. On a successful save, the target isn't affected, and you can't use a spell again for 24 hours.
Okay. All right. Well, so yeah, you would know Bragan well enough, though it's probably been a while since you've seen him. But let's go ahead and do a roll on that just to kind of cover the time frame.
Yeah, he has to make a 16 or higher.
Oh, okay, so it's just a save on him. Okay.
It's a save, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he did not succeed. So, you've been spending this time, and it took you a little while as you were doing this to kind of find the right time for when Bragan would be available. And because it's in a different realm, stuff doesn't necessarily line up in the same way. So, you're looking for same time of day. Time of day means something different there. But through going through this, you've definitely been able to learn a little bit more about what Bragan's doing. He's definitely active, and you know that he's certainly in a powerful position still, as you would probably have expected. And if it comes down to it and you need it, that'll be some information that'll become useful. I'll give you some kind of specific details in the context when we get there.
Okay, sounds good.
If we get there. So, cool. That's Brittany. Anybody else have anything they were trying to do during the interim past couple of weeks?
I was just practicing with my new shoes.
Practicing with your new shoes, so you were doing the training and everything? Okay.
Trying to learn how to fly.
All right. As everyone kind of participated in that, so you definitely have improved from last time. What's up, Atlas?
I was going to ask Jazzy what she's been up to.
Me? Honestly, I've just been sort of preparing, I guess, just waiting for the day to show up.
So one of the things that in between, at one point, Jazzy, you talked to Ravo, and Ravo gave you a journal.
That's right. Sorry, I totally forgot about that.
It's okay. No, you didn't need to bring that up. That's fine. So Ravo brought you a journal. Jazzy and I talked a little bit about this between sessions. That is a record of a fellow lycanthrope, sort of their transformation. It was someone who, like you, knew they got bit, knew that the transformation was looming, and kind of them chronicling what the experience is like. The main thing, well, I guess go ahead and roll a wisdom on it, so I can see how much you gleaned from it in that period of time.
2.
All right, so you're really distraught. And the other thing that's tough is that, like, you're reading something from the perspective of someone, like, who's changing, and so you're kind of like having to constantly like
am I
the person.
I guess I'm probably doubting myself and like doubting everything I'm doing, since like obviously this person is going through a transformation. I'm starting to be like, am I also changing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So like the stress of it, I think, is maybe preventing you from like being able to fully get into the rest of it, because as soon as you start seeing them, they're like writing differently as they're changing, you know?
Like I imagine like Christina's feeling like just like how the transformations obviously changes this person. It's just like, okay, like am I making this choice because I'm myself, or am I making this choice because of the changes that are going within me?
Yes.
Okay.
Very, very much so, because like you're reading things about, you know, the first sections you read, and it sounds like someone writing about a forest and just kind of like how you would normally describe a forest. You're describing what the trees look like, maybe sort of the sounds, maybe a little bit. And then as you get further and further into it, you see a little more sense language and a little less the like adjectives and descriptives, but more about like the smells become kind of a little bit more of a focus, and maybe talking about the forest in a more fluid way, in a more living way. So it's less about the trees and more about kind of the life and whatnot. And so, you sort of get stressed out by that part of it. And so maybe you kind of miss some details that you were looking for to kind of help you out. So it mostly has stressed you out more than anything else. That's too bad. So, Rhaegar, you've been practicing. Atlas, has there been anything else that you've been doing? You had that dream.
Yeah, I had that dream. At this point, we're in an area that's outside of Droam, or are we still sort of in Droam?
You're still in Droam. You're still in the Great Crag. You're still up top. You're basically at the tippy top, at the because that's where the flight training stuff is.
So I've had that dream, and I think at this point, is Ravo with us?
Yeah, Ravo has been kind of coming and going here and there, but he's definitely around. You can find him when you need to.
After that dream, I might approach him next time I see him and ask him. Well, I might ask him like, hey Ravo, where in Droam is like maybe your best library or best, you know that we're hunting for things that are of the celestial nature. Where is a good repository for information? Is there a good library for that? Does the Sword Ketra have a personal library for that type of information? Like, where can I research more about that here?
So let's say that you met up with you had that dream. You're kind of a little shaken by it. You met up with Ravo at the training grounds again. Kind of like everybody during your day, you have a time where everybody kind of like meets up and plans and whatnot. And you bring that up to Ravo then. And so Ravo's. Well, I don't know of anything in particular, but there are certainly a number of places where you could go. Things of a celestial nature. You may want to try. honestly, the archives would be the only place to look, because anything having to do with celestials and whatnot is probably wrapped up with the silver flame, and that's always going to be something a little touchy around here. So you may want to speak to the archivist. Yeah, as you have learned. That would be another thing that over the course of the past week, if it wasn't already clear to you beforehand, has become very clear to you, that when you're wearing the full Atlas getup, people do not look at you well.
Yeah.
And when you're maybe in your casual clothes or something like that every now and then, if you're not in the full armor, you don't have the shield and everything like that, people pay less attention to you. Like, you're kind of a little bit more like you're just another guy.
Yeah.
So that's been obvious. Ravo kind of he points you in the direction of there's an archives on one of the lower levels of the crag that you could probably go check out at some point. So while Atlas is talking to Ravo, are y'all there? What are y'all up to? Now we're caught up to modern. This is the day. This is today.
Is this the day we're leaving?
No. This is just, we're now caught
okay.
up. That was all kind of like, what have you been doing for the interim?
What time of day is it?
I'd say kind of mid to late morning, 10 a.m., 11 a.m.
Brittany is drinking.
It doesn't matter what time of day it is.
I was going to say, yeah. It's a time of the day.
Brittany is reading a book, journaling, and drinking heavily.
Both reading and journaling? What are you reading and what are you journaling?
Well, I'm journaling my plans on how we're going to go through with this and approach this castle from everything that I've learned from my scrying. And then I'm reading about celestial magics.
Oh.
I'm getting up to date with my language, those celestial lessons. It's been a while.
Okay. Atlas, do you have any questions about the celestial stuff that Brittany is learning?
Well, maybe like as I'm making these plans with Ravo, I see Brittany doing this, and I'm like, oh, hey, Brittany, you're reading some celestial stuff? That's good. Keep boning up. I'm actually going to be heading down to the archives to find some other stuff on celestial stuff. You want to join me?
Like what?
Well, I guess like celestial creatures or celestial.
Yeah, you need that education. Let's go.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, sure. FYI, that word there, that's a big one. That means doorway.
Thank you. I know that word. Dorfinwoden? Yes, I know.
Dorfinwoden.
Thank you.
I need to write that one down.
That's going to come back to bite me in the butt, isn't it?
It so is.
Write that down now, Anna.
I'm writing it down.
Write it down.
Dorfinwoden.
Everybody chat, write it down.
Dorfinwoden. It's a thing. Okay. So, all right. So, Anna, you're going to tag along?
Yeah.
All right. Rhaegar and Christina, what are y'all doing?
So I'm guessing what now? Christina is sort of found a quiet place by herself, and she's still trying to read that book. She has like a bunch of like notes, like the book looks like it has been like dog-eared and notations and stuff like that, and there's little bits of scrap paper like all over the place. But it seems like no matter how many times I write notes, I'm just not absorbing what's happening.
Okay, so you just can't grasp.
Yeah, because I imagine the stress of it is just making me more and more nervous and anxious about like things around me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little on
so
edge.
So I'm just sort of hanging out by myself.
Rhaegar?
I've just been everyone's been so busy, so I've been trying to keep up with like my my rogue skills, I've been trying, just been skulking about, trying to sneak around, see if I still got it.
Okay.
Doing some pickpocketing here and there.
Oh.
Just trying to keep my skills sharp.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to. We'll come to that in a second, because definitely gonna have to do the pickpocket.
As I pass Rhaegar as well, I also want to... Rhaegar! Now that all of us can fly, which is amazing, right? I think that there's one person that's left out. And I've sketched up like a little mock-up of I think something that might be able to work for them.
I know where you're going for this.
And I show him a very crudely drawn drawing of Felicia with like a little tiny wing thing going on, like a hang glider-esque situation.
Does it look like the rat when we played Minecraft?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
totally.
Yes, exactly.
I like where you're going with this. I mean, I was just gonna keep her on my person, you know.
I feel
Just keep
like
her safe
she'll
that way,
feel
but-
left out.
If she were to fall out for some reason, then it'd be good to know that she could also, you know, like if not fly, then maybe
No.
like slowly.
Oh, she'll be able to fly. I
Fall
point
to
to an
safety.
even more crudely drawn portion. See that's a firework there, actually.
All right, you do have a history with fireworks.
I
it's
do.
true. I mean, that was a pretty good show you put on. But I'm gonna level with you. I'm afraid you're gonna blow up my rat.
That's fair.
So maybe I just keep her in one of my pockets.
That's
for
I mean,
now.
It's we'll call that option one.
We'll test the rocket rat, you know,
Totally.
theory that you
Great.
have. Maybe on
rocket
like
rat theory.
I don't know, some potatoes or something.
I'll get some more sketches mocked up.
All right. I'll start carving this potato into the shape of a rat.
You want it to be accurate. Yeah.
Rat. Accurate.
I just aged 100 years. Okay. So, Christina, you're doing your own thing, figuring, reading that journal. Rhaegar, practicing your thief skills about town. Okay. And then Atlas and Brittany heading towards the archives together in order to learn some info. Well, let's go ahead then. As y'all head towards the archives, you're winding through the city streets, kind of heading down a couple levels. You have to get on the elevator at one point to head down a couple levels, and you find yourself in a part of the crag where there's a lot less of the kind of people out and about, because it's not the market area, it's not an entertainment district or anything like that. This is just kind of like, it's the archives, it's, place where artifacts are kept and guarded. It's just a level where a lot of people don't visit. And much like the rest of the place, it's sort of tucked into the ruins of the temple that the Great Crag is built on. And so you sort of find yourself at this little part of town where there's just this very unassuming, basically a hole in the wall, and above it is just sort of like crudely carved onto the wall a sort of like a symbol of like a book, like a scribblings. And yeah, you head in there, and it's basically tomes and scrolls and all kinds of stuff, floor to ceiling. And sort of all the way at the back, you can see like a tiny little desk, and you just sort of see these two bright white eyes kind of staring out from the darkness.
Okay.
Like straight at you. And that's pretty much it, but just kind of like staring
Hello.
from over there.
I think that's the
Can you help
librarian.
us?
Hello.
Hi. Can you? Do you know about all the books and scrolls in here?
Are you the librarian?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hold on. And the eyes sort of slowly float towards you, and you can see that this individual is some ethereal being of a sort, maybe ghost-like, phantom-like, wraith-like. You're not sure what, but certainly floating around just fine. How may I help you?
Yeah, I would like any history books, any scrolls, anything that you have about the Avariel.
Oh, the Avariel. Excuse me a moment. And sort of the character kind of like disappears away through the floor. And you sort of see like a mist pop up on the other side of the archives, a little bit distance from you. And then you see some scrolls start floating in your direction as this person brings them forward. Here you go. These are a few of the scrolls on the Avariels. Very interesting race of flying elves. Certainly.
Beautiful.
Certainly unique.
Yes. Do you have, in any of these scrolls, is there a history about the two houses or anything else about, the history? Because I know it's very, very rare and not a lot of people know about that. So I know it's not a lot of information out there, but anything you do have would be great.
Well, everything in the archives is right here in front of you. That's all we have on the
All right.
Avariel.
How do I check these books out?
You read them.
Oh, can I take them out of the...
Oh, sure, go ahead. I mean, we'll find them. if
Okay,
you take
great.
them.
Yeah, well, I'll bring them back. I don't need them after
Good.
I've read them.
It's perfect.
All right, Alice, what did you want?
Yeah, I'm looking for books on celestial creatures, or perhaps like celestial familiars, if that's a thing. Something on of that nature, if you are aware of anything.
Give me a moment. And then as that happens, you sort of see this character sort of dissolve and then start popping up like all over the place throughout. And you see a whole bunch of just little like scrolls and books and things like that getting like piled up. And eventually this person comes over and it's kind of like holding this giant stack of all kinds of tomes and things. This is what we have on the Celestials. You may want to be a little more specific.
Yeah, you might want to be a little more specific.
Like anything in there about like bears, celestial bears, or like how to like communicate with them? So
every time you like make like a correction, the person sort of like disappears with a whole bunch of stuff, like taking away books and things. Oh, not that, no, those ones, not those ones. And so it's sort of like dwindling the pile down into a smaller set.
Okay. And like bears that maybe communicate with you in your dreams.
Dream bears?
Oh, okay. Okay.
I retort back to Brittany. Avarials?
Yeah. Yes. I'm researching.
I'm researching as well.
I mean, Brittany's retort could literally just be wings, you know? Like
No, Brittany, when
Proof.
Brittany has been as much of keeping it on the
Yes,
D-low as
low
possible.
profile.
Yeah. Maybe I will tell you about it later,
Yeah.
Atlas.
All right.
you're not old enough yet. Your 100th birthday.
Well, I mutter under my breath. Well, maybe your face smells.
What, Alice, what was that?
Nothing.
Were you saying something?
Nothing.
Okay. Have you been having those dreams again? I don't know because I'm in the taco hut and it's soundproof.
No, definitely not. Fine.
Are you sure? You just mentioned dream bear that can communicate. That sounds like a nightmare to me.
Okay. I mean, I can see how you're forming those conclusions there. You're connecting the dots.
Oh, okay. So you haven't been having nightmares?
No, I mean, definitely not.
Oh, well then what are you researching about dream celestial bears?
Just like, I guess I'm hoping to see them once we get to Celestia.
I didn't know you liked bears.
I mean, yeah, I think they're cool. They're bears. Who doesn't like bears?
I mean...
Can I ask about the
yes.
Avarials? And you wanting to know the history about them?
Yeah, the two houses and, you know, family lines and stuff like that.
About why, though?
It's important research, Atlas.
It is.
Yes, if we're going to their castle, we should probably know a little bit of history about them, shouldn't we?
Why are we going to their castle?
That's where we're going.
Oh. So you know this castle?
I know of it, yes.
I heard that cat, sorry.
Sorry, yeah, no, he's over here being a baby.
How do you know of it? You didn't even know how to read Celestial like a month ago.
Well, you know, I've been doing a lot of research recently, and so I want to do some more. I found out some things about these winged angels and how amazing they are, and, you know, I just want to make sure that we know the proper customs and what to do when we get there.
I put my hand on Brittany's shoulder. You know, sometimes I'm just so proud as a teacher. I'm really, you've come so far. It's amazing.
Thank you, Atlas.
Oh, Atlas.
I appreciate that.
Oh, man. Sweet, sweet Atlas. So, as you're talking about all these things, the pile gets dwindled down. You have a whole bunch of scrolls and whatnot. There is one book that catches your eye. It's almost as if, like a little like reflection and a glint kind of off of it kind of catches your attention. And it just on it just says, the record of Phora. Phora. Phora.
The record of Phora.
Which is a name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's that.
Well, it seems like if he is not going to be hating us for taking these books, then I will take that book as well and return back to the camp with Brittany.
Also, I have one more question.
Oh, yes.
Do you have a book on maybe flying rats?
Yeah. Ooh, good question.
Or, actually, I'm sorry. I have two questions. I need a book on flying rats, and then I need a book on lycanthropy.
Ah, same book. Goes over.
Fantastic.
But actually, yeah, no. Flies over and brings you a couple of things. Perhaps these can help you out.
Brittany inspects the binding of the books and yeah, this'll do. Thank you.
Ooh, sorry. One more request from me. Can I just get a basic history of the Church of the Silver Flame?
Would you like that written from their perspective or ours? I'll get you both.
Thanks.
Floats over and brings you two books, one of which is very thin, and one of which is very thick. You can guess which one's written by who. But
okay.
Yeah, you get both.
Cool. I think that's it from me.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoy, and don't worry, we'll get the books back.
What was your name?
Jeffius.
Oh!
It was super awesome to meet you, Jeffius. You are just a wizard when it comes to finding these tomes here.
Jeffius, where is that from? That is such a fantastic name.
Oh yes, it's a cloud history, but that's a long time ago. Boy, that would be a story to tell you. That would almost take far too long, far more time than you have right now.
Oh, well, I've got hundreds of years. See you later.
Sorry, Price, can you remind me the name of that book one more time, the first one you gave me?
Yeah, The Record of Phora. Phora.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Brittany carries a whole bunch of books.
All right, so y'all are doing that. Y'all got your books. You're reading that and engaging with that stuff. Let's jump over to Rhaegar. Rhaegar, you feel a little left out, almost. Everybody's off doing their big stuff with Ash and his bears, and you've got Brittany and Christina with their the wings and the varial stuff. Christina's dealing with lycanthropy, and you've just sort of been kind of putzing about working on your skills.
Yeah, everybody left me alone. I don't know what they all went, so I figured I'd, do what it was familiar.
Okay.
What was familiar. I haven't been doing it for a while, so go out, pick some pockets.
A little rusty.
Hide under some eaves, do some eavesdroppings.
Okay. So what do? Do you just kind of head out into town? You just start picking the first pocket you see, or
No. I figure, I want to see if I still got it, So I'm skulking about, I'm trying to spy on people's conversations,
Okay.
Trying to see if I'm noticed, kind of things, Some things that are pretty low risk to start out to see if I still got it, working my way up to the pickpocketing and whatnot.
So maybe you're hanging out around a whole bunch of chatty people at a bar or something like that.
Yeah. I'm imagining I find the people that are maybe in the dark corner of the bar, and then pull a Mission Impossible where I'm or an L driver, or not L driver. I'm sorry. Bride from Kill Bill, where she does the thing where she's on the roof,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just trying to listen in.
Right. I'm just more so, I don't really care about what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I just want to see if I'm noticed.
Yeah, you're practicing. You're you saw a little spot up there. Can I Can I spider it? Can I make it work?
Exactly.
So yeah, let's say you're in a bar. There's a couple of orcs kind of below you chatting about whatever they're getting up to this weekend, and you're trying to Spider-Man above them. You snuck in a little bit earlier before anybody got in the booth, and you're like, I'm gonna get up there. So let's roll. I guess we'll call that a dex or a stealth. We'll roll it stealth.
Better call it. Well, either of those. Stealth is great. Yes.
Let's call it stealth because you're gonna need to do both things.
Oh my god.
Hmm?
I wish I could pick up the camera. Can I? No.
Can you do it now? What is it?
It's a nat 20.
All right. Oh, you lift it up. We'll trust you to not rotate. Just there you go. Look at that. Boom. Natty 20. I believe it. Okay. So yeah, you get up there and like it's like you never stop doing it. You're like,
second
this was
nature.
like made for me. There's actually a part where like you're so comfortable you actually doze off for a little bit, but you still don't fall down. Like it's like cat owner. It's like when your cats fall asleep in like one of those positions where you're like, how could they even? But they're like all their legs are hanging off. They've got like the smallest little bit of their body on there, but somehow they're comfy and sleeping. That was you. Hanging off the rafters. So yeah, nobody noticed you, so much so that like that bar went, many people came throughout that booth without noticing you.
Did I hear anything interesting? I wasn't out to hear anything interesting, but did I pick up anything interesting?
You definitely, a couple of things, just in terms of with what your goals were in terms of pickpocketing and whatnot. You certainly heard a couple of people who sounded like they maybe had some heavy pockets.
Ooh.
Yeah. So a couple of orcs who came and sat down there at one point. There's definitely one of them who clearly a little bit older and was sort of the one kind of in charge. And through listening here and there, it's clear that, definitely a higher up in some organized crime here in Drohan.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So that guy, he came and went, and he's around. If you wanted to pickpocket somebody, he would certainly be a big target.
Okay, so that
There's
was that.
A couple of other people who you heard who might be like easier targets with less of a less in their pockets, but less of a risk.
Okay. So that was like a secondary gain off of this. I picked up the people who I could potentially pickpocket. Got it.
I mean, you're thinking of testing your skills. You're thinking of messing around. Like, why not?
Okay.
All right. So if that's something you want to do, we could do that now. Or
okay. Let's say, I use this as an opportunity to sort of scout out who had heavy pockets, and wait till they're good and drunk, after they're leaving the bar.
Okay.
And then maybe try to sneak through the shadows of the alley and try and do a quick pickpocket. Maybe slice the bottom of their pocket when they're not looking,
Okay. All right. So
get the gold.
You snuck up there for a long time. You kept your eye on this guy as he was in the bar because he was kind of moving around back and forth. And you waited until he was leaving. You could tell he was kind of tipsy. It's later in the day for sure. So you saw your moment. So you wait until it's clear down below. People have left. You got a couple of seconds. You could sneak down from the rafters. And then, you kind of blend through the crowd. So let's have you roll another stealth to cover you going from there and following them out into an alleyway.
Okay, that is a 27.
Okay, yeah, so you're able to very quickly kind of blend into the crowd and weave your way through. It's all coming back to you. And you've always had this very kind of natural affinity towards blending in, where you just kind of, the people around you, you monitor them well, and you kind of see how they're moving. You just flow into it. So you just kind of become like faithless in the crowd.
Okay.
And so even if someone were to turn around and look for you, maybe they're suspicious, they would never see you. So you follow him out into the street. It's still kind of crowded, but as you follow him a little bit further along, he does head down an alleyway at one point to get across to a different part of the crag. And you, that's probably your best chance to do your little slice and go.
I seize the opportunity. Okay, I try to cut his pocket, take his coin purse without him noticing.
Let's go.
Is this a stealth roll as well?
There's a pickpocket, or is there a sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand? Okay. Yep, which is the same as my stealth, so
Should be the same, yeah.
it don't matter. 26.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, you're following this guy around, and you were sticking to the shadows the whole time. There was a point where you were just about ready to go for it, and then like two of his kind of seemingly guards or bodyguards, something along those lines, kind of rolled up alongside him. And as they're doing that, they sort of head further down the alleyway, and just happenstance, a barrel kind of falls and cracks near them. There were some guys doing some work. They just dropped some stuff, and it caused a little bit of a ruckus. And they're startled. They move, and that was the moment. You knew, right? You were waiting. You
Seized
saw
my
it.
opportunity.
That was the moment. And so you pull the classic move of bump, whoopsie. Oh gosh, you guys stopped. I walked into you because I was behind you, and you got that bag, grabbed it. They, of course, were just like, oh, whatever, because they're dealing with this thing that happened. You get away scot-free. You got this little coin purse. Inside, you find 40 gold pieces, which is a pretty significant little grab, and also a couple of gemstones that, look like they could have some value. You've fenced a couple things,
I pocket the gemstones, but on my way back to our lodgings, I want to pass through the part of town where maybe like the beggars are. Like you know?
Yeah.
And
You go to like Slum Town.
Yeah, Slum Town. So and then I spy like a young kid begging for money.
Okay.
Down on luck, young kid.
Yeah.
And I drop the 40 gold into their cup before I head home.
Okay. Now, is this like, do you just drop the bag, or you like pour it all out? Like, is this
No, I just drop the bag.
You just drop the bag.
Just
All
drop
right.
the bag and walk
Yeah,
away.
you walk by, and this kid that you see, it's a little half orc kid, definitely struggling. Younger, he's skinny.
What's the other half?
Sallow. Half. What do they even call themselves? What is the term for half elf, half humans in Eberron?
Does it have a special term?
It has a specific name. Anyway, because they're the most common.
It's not a
more
horde.
common. Yeah. But anyway, basically half elf, half human, half orc. It's quarter elf, quarter human. Anyway, point being, you see this little guy. Clearly, he's needing some help, and you drop that bag there because you're feeling generous.
Khorvaire.
And you head on back. Khorvaire, thank you. Because I was like, Khorvaire is the place. Khorvaire are the people. There we go. Thank you. And you do that, and you head back up. You got the gems, but you left the money. Cool.
And I still got it. That's what I wanted to find out. Still got it.
Still got it. Rhaegar's the king. Okay. So, covered y'all. Jazzy, is there anything else pertaining to your kind of researching into this that you want to get into before kind of everybody gets back together?
I think I want to eventually talk to Ravo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say after
Yeah.
Atlas talked to Ravo, after Brittany and Atlas went off to the archive, you caught Ravo at some point there, pulled him aside. What do you want to ask?
Hey, Ravo, thank you for this book. And thank you for, helping me.
It's a tough burden, yes.
As much as this book has answers, is there anything else I should prepare myself for? Will I lose myself?
The transformation itself it's going to be rough. I can't lie. I've never known anyone to be able to control themselves on the first night, and many can never control themselves. It's pretty terrifying. The more time you spend in the form, the more you'll be able to understand how to bring it in and rein it in, but I fear for the first transformation.
So would I commonly know when this moon would arrive, or is it just still for me like...
You would, at this point, with what you've researched, with what you figured out, you know that this moon will rise soon. And it's within the next couple of days.
Ravo, do you think it's wise for me to leave for a bit?
It may be the best choice. Or to shackle yourself, or I'm not sure. Shackles of silver will hold you in place at least, but that's not something that I would... Well, I haven't liked it when it's been done to me, so I would never suggest for you to be done to you.
Do you know of a safe place I could go to?
I could take you far away from here to the village where everyone is a shifter or a lycanthrope. You're less likely to harm anyone there, or at least you'll have someone who can stop you there.
How many days' journey is that?
It's a few weeks. You'd probably be transformed before then.
Would you help me? Would you help me find a safe place somewhere here, even if it's outside of town?
We could take you as far away from here as possible if you like.
I think that would be best. I want to help everybody get to this celestial door, but I think I need to deal with this first. I don't want to put anyone in danger, especially Brittany. I don't want to... She's already dealt with one curse. I don't think she could handle another.
Yes, I understand. It's very thoughtful of you, hey. But what if... Because they're wanting to leave soon. Are you saying that you want to stay here when everyone leaves?
I don't want to put anyone in danger. We're already going to be fighting who knows how many enemies. I don't want to be another one.
This is true. Well, I will help you in whatever way I can. I will say I think that you would be an asset and helpful, but you also will be a danger. So, if that's what you would like to do, then that is what we can do.
Thank you.
All right. Well, then we'll have to leave at midnight.
Don't tell Brittany. She won't understand.
I figured that that's what you would ask. All right. I'll keep it secret.
Thank you.
Meet me here at midnight, and we'll leave.
Okay.
All right. So, as y'all have that conversation. Bravo heads over to go do some other stuff. The rest of y'all kind of come back together, and as you kind of meet up with one another, you see your ship arriving into harbor.
Oh.
The airship that you left so long ago has, you could see on the deck. I was like, what is the word for the top of a ship?
The top part? The part you stand on?
On the outside with the
On
sunlight,
the
not
roof.
the inside.
The roof of the ship.
With the standy part, the stand roof.
On the ceiling, but the top of the seat. What's on the top of the ceiling? The floor? That one. So you see Marakai, and you see Ranspur, and assumedly Dragus flying the thing, kind of coming into port at the top. And I think, because I'm looking at the time, it looks like that's been about an hour. We should maybe take our first break there?
Sure.
Ranspur!
Everybody's
Dragus!
driving!
Yay!
Because I now also need to figure out what are we going to do with Jazzy leaving? Okay, we'll figure it out.